Your mind is your greatest asset. It has the power to turn obstacles into opportunities, transform pain into resilience, and shape your dreams into reality. But what happens when that same mind turns against you? What happens when it becomes the very thing that holds you back? As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Yet too often, our own minds react in ways that trap us, feeding us fear, doubt, and insecurity. Have you ever felt like a prisoner of your own thoughts? The whispers of self-doubt, the constant replay of past mistakes, and the endless worry about what could go wrong. These aren't just fleeting thoughts. They are the seeds of a mindset that can sabotage your happiness, your growth, and your peace. In this video, we'll explore how to break free from this cycle and transform your mind from an enemy into an ally. Together, we'll uncover Stoic principles that will help you regain control, conquer negativity, and find clarity amidst the chaos. Before we dive in, comment below, "I take control of my mind," as a promise to yourself. Let's embark on this journey together, because mastering your mind is the key to mastering your life. Welcome to Stoic Echoes US. Let's begin. 1. Negative thoughts are self-destructive. Picture this. You're a gifted athlete preparing for the opportunity of a lifetime, a competition that could define your career. But instead of dedicating yourself to training, your mind becomes a battlefield. Silent, private thoughts creep in. "I'm not good enough. What if I fail? Everyone else is better than me." These doubts become louder than your determination, and instead of channeling your energy into preparation, you waste it on worry. When the big day arrives, you stand at the starting line, not as the strong competitor you are, but as someone already defeated. And when failure comes, it's not because you lacked talent, strength, or skill. It's because you let your own mind convince you that you couldn't succeed. Do you see what happened? Your greatest opponent wasn't on the track, the court, or the field. It was in your head. This is the silent power of negative thoughts. They sabotage you from within, often without you even realizing it. The human mind is like a garden, fertile soil where anything can grow. If you plant seeds of confidence, resilience, and hope, they will flourish, giving you the strength to face challenges head-on. But if you let negative thoughts take root, they spread like weeds, choking out your potential and leaving you trapped in self-doubt. Think about how often we allow these private, destructive thoughts to hold us back. Maybe you've hesitated to take on a new project at work because you thought you weren't qualified, or avoided speaking up in a meeting because you feared sounding foolish. Maybe you've told yourself, "Why bother trying? I'll never succeed." These moments of hesitation, born from self-doubt, are the moments where we sabotage ourselves the most. But here's the truth. Your mind doesn't have to be your enemy. You have the power to change the way you think, and in doing so, change the way you live. When you catch yourself spiraling into negativity, pause and ask, "Is this thought helping me or holding me back?" Challenge it. Replace it with something constructive. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," remind yourself, "I am capable and I'll give it my best shot." It takes practice, but every time you redirect your thoughts, you're planting new seeds, ones that will grow into confidence, determination, and success. So, what kind of seeds are you planting in your mind today? Remember, the lesson is simple but profound. Your thoughts shape your reality. Don't let silent, private doubts rob you of the life you're capable of living. Instead, nurture the thoughts that empower you, and watch as your potential blossoms. 2. Why do negative thoughts take root so easily? Have you ever wondered why negative thoughts take root so easily in our minds? The answer lies in our brain's tendency to focus more on negativity than positivity. This is a survival mechanism from our ancestors who had to remain constantly alert to dangers to stay alive. But in the modern world, fear is no longer a lion in the jungle. Instead, it comes in the form of criticism, judgmental glances, and anxiety about the future. We believe negative thoughts because they seem like the truth. We confuse emotions with reality. Just because you feel like you're not good enough doesn't mean you truly lack ability. Just because you think you will fail doesn't mean failure is certain. But if you believe these thoughts, your actions will reflect them, and they will become your reality. Detach yourself from negative thoughts. The key to preventing your mind from becoming your enemy is learning to detach yourself from negative thoughts. Stoic philosophy teaches an important principle: you are not your thoughts. When a negative thought arises, don't immediately believe it. Observe it like a passing cloud in the sky. Ask yourself, is this really true? Is there any evidence for it? Or is it just my fear speaking? Marcus Aurelius once said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. You have the power to shift your perspective. You can replace "I'm not good enough" with "I am still growing." You can replace "I will definitely fail" with "I might fail, but I will learn something from it." Your mind can be your worst enemy, but it can also be your greatest ally. It all depends on how you treat it. If you take control of your thoughts, you will no longer be held back by the invisible limitations you impose on yourself. Remember this: you may not be able to control everything in life, but you can always control how you think about it, and that will change everything. 3. Worry too much about things beyond your control. There are days when your mind seems to turn against you. Wandering thoughts pull you into a loop of anxiety and fear. You drown in old memories, replaying conversations over and over, wondering if you said something wrong, if someone is judging you. You worry about scenarios that haven't happened yet, imagining every possible outcome in your head, allowing unease to take over every moment. The more you think, the more exhausted you become. Let me tell you a story. There's a young woman named Emily who worked tirelessly at her job, always going above and beyond. But every time she sent an email, she would spend hours worrying if her tone sounded unprofessional. When she presented in meetings, she would replay every word afterward, wondering if she embarrassed herself. And when her boss didn't respond to her messages immediately, she assumed the worst, that she had done something wrong. These thoughts consumed her, leaving her exhausted and doubting her abilities. One day, a mentor asked her, "Emily, can you control how others think or react, or can you only control the effort you put in and how you choose to respond?" That question changed everything for her. She realized she had been giving her energy to things she could never influence, instead of focusing on what she could actually control: her work ethic, her attitude, and her growth. The mind can become your most dangerous enemy. Without any external force acting upon you, your own doubts and worries can erode your confidence and hold you back from moving forward. Stoicism has a core principle: we should only focus on what we can control. But have you truly realized that, or are you still wasting your precious energy on things beyond your influence? 4. Live in the past or future instead of the present. Close your eyes and picture this. You're standing on the edge of a towering cliff, staring into the abyss below. The world around you is completely still, no wind, no sound, just the pounding of your heartbeat echoing in your chest. You know that taking the next step could change everything, but you're frozen. Not because the cliff is too high, but because your mind is holding you back. It drags you into an old memory, the time you fell, the time you failed. Or worse, it yanks you forward into a dark, imagined future full of disaster and regret. This is how the mind traps us, locking us in a cycle of fear. We either replay past mistakes that we can't undo, or obsess over a future that hasn't even happened yet. And in doing so, we let the only thing we truly own, the present moment, slip through our fingers. Seneca's words hit like a wake-up call. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. How many times have you feared something that never actually happened? How often have you tortured yourself with regrets that no longer have any power? We create unnecessary suffering, as if worrying could somehow rewrite the past or control the future. The past holds lessons, not chains. Take Thomas Edison, for example, fired from his first job for being too absent-minded and failing thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. He had every reason to give up. If he had let failure define him, the world might have waited decades longer for progress. But he didn't quit. He saw failure not as a life sentence, but as a stepping stone. If you let your past imprison you, you'll never get the chance to succeed. The past should be a teacher, not a prison guard. The hard truth about the past and future. Here's a reality check. The past is unchangeable. No amount of overthinking, regret, or guilt can alter what has already happened. So why let it control you? Likewise, the future remains unknown, no matter how much you try to predict or plan for it. A student so afraid of failing an exam wastes time worrying instead of studying. An entrepreneur terrified of failure never starts their business. Someone who once loved and lost refuses to love again, paralyzed by fear of getting hurt. Take a moment to ask yourself, how many times have you worried about something only to realize later that it wasn't nearly as bad as you imagined? Our minds amplify fear, making the unknown feel unbearable. But in doing so, we ignore what's real, the present moment. Marcus Aurelius's timeless wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoics, offers a powerful reminder: no one can lose either the past or the future. How could anyone be deprived of what he does not possess? The past no longer exists. The future has not yet arrived. The only thing you truly own is this moment right now. So, ask yourself, are you truly living or just existing? Are you experiencing life, or are you trapped between two places you can never reach, the past and the future? How to take back control of your mind. One simple but powerful question can cut through the noise of anxiety. Is this within my control? If the answer is no, then let it go. Why waste energy worrying about something you can't change? If the answer is yes, take action. Don't let your mind spiral into chaos. Direct your focus toward what you can influence. This is the essence of Stoicism, the ability to separate what's in our power from what's not, and to put our energy where it truly matters. In the next section, we'll explore practical Stoic techniques to help you take control of your thoughts, stop dwelling on the past or fearing the future, and start living fully in the present. But before we move forward, take a deep breath, center yourself and say it aloud: I control my mind. Let's take the next step together. 5. How to control your mind. Have you ever felt like your mind is a battlefield where negative thoughts, anxiety, and insecurity constantly attack? You want to focus, but your thoughts drift like uncontrollable waves. Perhaps you've tried to push those thoughts away, but the more you try to forget them, the more they haunt you. The truth is, you cannot control your mind if you are not aware of it. Just like a river, if you get carried away by the current, you won't know where you are headed. But if you stand on the shore and observe, you can see the water flowing, understand how it moves, and most importantly, you are no longer controlled by it. Step 1. Become aware of your thoughts. Your mind is a powerful tool, but if left unchecked, it can easily turn into your greatest obstacle. Negative thoughts, fears, and doubts often slip in unnoticed, working like silent intruders that influence your emotions, decisions, and even the course of your life. But take a moment to ask yourself, are you truly your thoughts? Consider this. You wake up feeling tired, and your mind whispers, "I'm not good enough. Today is going to be awful." If you're unaware, you might accept this as truth and let it dictate your mood and actions for the rest of the day. However, if you pause and observe, you can challenge it. This is just a thought, not a fact. I have the power to decide how my day unfolds. Becoming aware of your thoughts doesn't mean eliminating negativity altogether. That's neither realistic nor necessary. Instead, it's about stepping back and watching your thoughts as they arise, like clouds passing in the sky. You're not here to control every thought, but you can control how you engage with them. The external world may be beyond your grasp, but your response to it is entirely in your hands, and that begins by observing what's happening in your mind. So how can you train yourself to observe your thoughts? Start by writing them down. A few minutes a day with a journal can transform how you see yourself. This isn't just a diary to vent emotions, it's a tool for self-awareness and growth. In the morning, jot down what you anticipate for the day. Are there situations that might frustrate or stress you? How can you prepare your mindset to handle them calmly? In the evening, reflect on what happened. What thoughts came up? How did you react? What could you have done differently? For example, imagine you felt discouraged by criticism at work. Write this: "I was frustrated when my colleague said I wasn't working fast enough." But that's just one perspective. I can choose to see this as constructive feedback and use it to improve. By journaling, you create space between yourself and your thoughts. You're no longer swept away by automatic reactions. You can pause, analyze, and choose a better response. At first, this practice might feel uncomfortable or even unnatural. We're so accustomed to being carried away by emotions that we rarely stop to question where they come from. But with consistency, you'll notice a profound change. Negative thoughts will lose their grip on you. You'll see them for what they truly are: temporary, fleeting mental events, not absolute truths. And most importantly, you'll reclaim the power to respond intentionally rather than letting your mind control you. The lesson here is simple but transformative. Your thoughts do not define you. They are private whispers of the mind, not the voice of reality. By becoming aware of them, you gain the freedom to shape your life with clarity and purpose. So, what thoughts are you choosing to focus on today? Step 2. Distinguish between what you control and what you don't. Imagine standing in the heart of a storm. The wind roars, rain lashes against your face, and the darkened sky feels heavy. What can you do? You might yell at the storm, curse the weather, and blame it for ruining your plans. But will that change anything? Not at all. The storm will rage on, indifferent to your frustration. The only thing you truly have control over is your reaction. You can prepare by bringing a raincoat, seeking safe shelter, and continuing your journey without allowing the storm to break your spirit. Now, think about how this principle applies to your daily life. When someone insults you, can you control the words they choose? Number. But you can control how you respond. You could lash out in anger, retaliate, or simply remain silent, refusing to let their words dictate your emotional state. Sometimes, silence is the most powerful response. A calm, steady gaze can say more than words ever could. Picture yourself in an important meeting. A colleague openly criticizes you in front of everyone, their tone sharp and confrontational, waiting for you to react. All eyes are on you. If you immediately argue back, show frustration, or retaliate, you're giving them exactly what they want, your reaction. But if you pause, stay composed, and meet their challenge with a calm, unwavering silence, something remarkable happens. That silence denies them the satisfaction they seek. Instead, they begin to feel unsettled, questioning whether they crossed a line or misjudged the situation. By refusing to be drawn into their emotional game, you not only protect your inner peace, but also display immense strength and self-control. Life is filled with situations beyond your control: the weather, the past, other people's thoughts, and even the impermanence of life itself. But what you can control is your attitude and response to these events. If you can change the situation, take action. If you can't, let it go. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, "I wish I had done things differently"? Regret is one of the heaviest burdens of the mind, but can you turn back time? Number. So why let your mind linger in the past? Accept that you cannot change what has already happened, but you can learn from it and use it to grow. Similarly, worrying about the future is another form of futile control. Can you predict every outcome? Number. But you can prepare, plan ahead, and adapt when things don't go as expected. Imagine you have an important presentation tomorrow. You could spend the night worrying about all the ways it could go wrong, but will that worry help you succeed? Not in the slightest. The only thing that will help is preparation. Practice your delivery, refine your points, and walk onto that stage with confidence. Worrying achieves nothing, but preparation changes everything. When life throws challenges your way, ask yourself, can I control this? If the answer is no, let it go. If the answer is yes, take action. The essence of suffering. Suffering doesn't come from what happens to you, it comes from how you respond to it. When you realize that your mind doesn't have to be your enemy, you uncover your true strength. You don't need to control the world, you only need to control yourself. By focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you can't, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and unlock the peace that comes with clarity and self-mastery. So, the next time you face a storm, ask yourself, what can I control? Then act on it and let the rest go. Step 3. Convert negative thinking into Stoic thinking. Picture this. You're about to take on a significant challenge, a presentation, an interview, or even a new opportunity. But just before you step forward, your mind whispers, "What if I fail?" This thought, like a sudden flash of lightning, strikes down the confidence you've built. It paints vivid worst-case scenarios, filling you with doubt and fear, sometimes even stopping you in your tracks. But pause for a moment and ask yourself, what's actually happening here? The truth is, nothing has happened yet. Your mind is simply projecting a future that doesn't exist, and if you let these thoughts take control, you'll lose the battle before it even begins. Reframe the thought. Now, let's approach this differently. Instead of letting the thought, "I will fail," spiral into fear, replace it with, "What can I learn from this experience?" Do you feel the shift? A thought rooted in fear transforms into one of growth and opportunity. Take inspiration from Thomas Edison, who famously said, "I didn't fail, I just found 10,000 ways that don't work." Think about that for a moment. Most people would quit after 10 or 50 failures, but Edison kept going through thousands of setbacks. Why? Because he didn't see failure as an end, he saw it as a stepping stone. This perspective teaches us that failure isn't real unless you stop trying. Every setback is simply a lesson, a chance to improve. Observe and redefine your thoughts. So how can you train your mind to adopt this perspective? It starts with observation. When a negative thought arises, don't accept it at face value. Pause and ask yourself, is this really as bad as I think? Is there a more positive or productive way to view this? If Marcus Aurelius or Seneca were in my position, how would they think about this? Remember, your thoughts are not you. They are like waves in the ocean of your mind, temporary, fleeting, and ever-changing. But you are not the waves. You are the captain of the ship, steering through them with intention and purpose. Practical exercise. Keep a Stoic journal. One of the most effective ways to practice Stoic thinking is by keeping a journal. Each day, write down situations that made you anxious or doubtful. Reflect on whether those fears were truly justified, and then reframe them from a Stoic perspective. For example, negative thought, "I'm not good enough to succeed in this project." Stoic perspective, "I might not be perfect now, but I'm improving every day. This project is a chance to grow and learn." By doing this regularly, you'll train your mind to automatically shift from fear to growth. Shift from fear to growth. When you learn to observe and transform your thoughts, you'll notice a profound change. Negative thinking will no longer control you. Instead, it will become a signal, a reminder to grow stronger. Challenges will become opportunities. Failures will become lessons. Obstacles will become stepping stones toward your goals. Now that you understand how to convert negative thinking into Stoic thinking, ask yourself, how can you start applying this mindset to your daily life? Every thought is a choice, and every choice is a chance to grow. So, what will you choose today? Step 4. Practice Stoicism daily. Every day, your mind is bombarded with endless information, emotions, and experiences. If you don't take a moment to pause and reflect, you can easily get swept away by the constant flow of life. This is why Marcus Aurelius, one of Rome's greatest emperors, dedicated time each night to write in his journal, not to boast, but to remind himself of life's essential lessons. 1. The power of reflection. Try something simple. Every evening before bed, write down 3 things you learned that day. These lessons don't have to be monumental. It could be a moment of patience while waiting in line, a new insight into someone's behavior, or even recognizing an impulsive reaction you had. Writing forces you to confront your thoughts and experiences. You stop being a passive observer, carried away by life's current, and instead become an active participant in shaping your mind. Reflection transforms your mind from a chaotic battlefield into a wise teacher. 2. Practice memento mori. Remember, you will die. At first, this concept might sound grim, but it's one of the most liberating tools for mastering your mind. Why should you remember your mortality? Because only when you are reminded of life's fleeting nature can you live fully. Think about this. If today were your last day, would you waste time on the negative thoughts and petty worries that often consume your mind? Would you care about the judgment of others or the small mistakes you've made? Or would you savor every moment, act boldly, and love deeply? Each morning, take a minute to remind yourself, life is finite. How will I use it today? This awareness shifts your perspective. Your mind stops being your critic or enemy and becomes your ally, guiding you toward what truly matters. 3. Embrace discomfort. We often avoid discomfort at all costs. When it's cold, we seek warmth. When challenges arise, we retreat. But a life of constant comfort weakens the mind, leaving it unprepared for unexpected hardships. Stoicism teaches us to willingly step into discomfort and use it to train our minds. Start small. Take a cold shower instead of a warm one to build resilience. Fast for a few hours to experience hunger and realize that you control your needs, not the other way around. Push yourself a little further during exercise to discover your hidden strength. Live minimally for 1 day a week, no social media, no unnecessary spending, to remind yourself that happiness doesn't come from excess. These small acts of discomfort teach a profound truth. You are stronger than you think. By voluntarily facing hardship, you train your mind to stop fearing life's challenges. Then, when real difficulties arise, a crisis, a loss, or a failure, you'll be ready to face them with courage and composure. 4. Build daily Stoic habits. No transformation happens overnight. Mastering your mind is not a sudden revelation, it's a gradual process. Every day, write in your journal to observe your thoughts. Every day, remind yourself that life is too short to waste on trivialities. Every day, embrace small challenges to strengthen your mind. Through consistent practice, you'll notice a profound change. Your mind no longer controls you. You've trained it to serve you, not hinder you. And when you master your mind, you master your life. Your mind can either be your greatest ally or your most dangerous enemy. The choice is yours. By practicing reflection, embracing discomfort, and focusing on what you can control, you can transform your thoughts and master your inner world. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. So, what will you do today to take control of your mind? Start small. Write down one negative thought and reframe it, or embrace a small challenge to build resilience. These small steps will lead to big changes. If this video inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic Echoes US for more life-changing lessons rooted in Stoic wisdom. And before you go, leave a comment below saying, "I control my mind," as a commitment to your journey. Thank you for watching, and remember, mastering your mind is the first step to mastering your life. See you in the next video.